Hello everyone, and this record is made with the purpose to introduce exercise 2 for you. We are not managed to physically present this one today, so we start with this introduction and then we continue explanation and Q&A on the exercise later. So with this, we assume that you have already done with the exercise 1 requirement engineering. And yeah, you will get the feedback from us soon on the exercise 1. But it will not stop you to work on the exercise 2 because they are on different topics. And here you will work with the test planning. You should already see the description of the exercise already now. And the deadlines for submissions exercise 2 is 11th of March. So when you get to Blackboard and in exercise, you should see this tab, exercise 2, and the descriptions. There will be two tasks presented in this exercise. The first one is to develop a list of test case, and the exercise task 2 is to develop the traceability matrix of the test cases. Yeah. So I hope you already know the concept of test case. You start usually first for your testing phase. You will start to plan what you want to test, and when you define in detail things you want to test and how you will implement the test, it is become a test case. So we can see here's how we describe a test case. In this template, you will see that we use a table format for describe a test case. So one table for each test case. The test case ID you can choose yourself. For example, I can say like TO1 for the test case 1. And we usually put a brief descriptions of the test case here. Associate requirements. When you learn about secure help from the exercise 1, you know there's a list of functional and non-functional requirements associated with the project. I can show you here. Yeah, you can see here. FR1, for example, register users. FR2, login. Right. So you can use the requirement IDs here, or you can also put the title size, something like that. Testing approach. You learn that there's a different level of testing: unit test, component test, or system test. You also learn different type tests. It's a black box test or white box test. You also learn there are different techniques for doing either white box or black box test, right? For example, boundary value and partitioning analysis as one kind of test techniques you can do, and many others. So here I will ask you to describe the approach you will do. Test setup and preparations. What is the assumption? What we need to do when we want to execute this test? This one example. So here to test the test case, verify help request publication by refugees, and this directly related to requirement FR4. And here it is a unit test, and we apply a black box test. The condition here is that the refugee is already logged into the systems. The test step is important. it will describe how the test can be executed. This is the list of user actions basically. So in this one, first of all, the user navigate to the help request sections. Then he or she select the shelters as a requested service, and thirdly, he or she confirms and submit the request. Um, you also need to offer to write the input value. For example, here that's what they select when they are bring to the request sections, and the expected result. If you test the login function, for example, the input value shall be a username and password informations, and expected value, expected result. If the test is successfully done, then you should see the successful message, and you log in and navigate to the next page, right? Okay, so task 2 is about traceability, and I think you know that it means that we need to make it explicit the connection between test case and other artifact in a software project. For example, for test case, we can see it connect to requirements like we see in the table here, right? Okay, that's easy to see. The test case and also associate with a code files. It means that when we execute, for example, this verify help request publication Mary cookies, when we execute this test case, we will need some files to be executed, right? For example, another example is the login function. When we test the login function, of course, the login form need to be called, need to be rendered, and the business logic behind the login, the authentications need to be triggered and need to be run as well. And with that, you should be able to, you need to get access to the code base, right? And here you see the link to the code base given here. I hope that it's already been set up so everyone can access to this. Like what I did here. Yeah, when you click here, you see the README. And this is a typical structure for Django project, and this is already hosted in a Docker container as well. So you see those files. Right? But the code is the main code is split in backend and front end. When you get to front end, for example, and you see in source code, and you see basically two things: the components. Yeah. So this is a JSX file. It's the components. Yeah. And you have also the service. Yeah. There's some service here. Yeah. So briefly see the backend. You have the backend here. You have the apps, and yeah, there's certifications, app requests, and users. And there's a Python, so it follow the, yeah, they have the apps model. Yeah, that's the same for in all photos here. Uh, yeah. So your traceability matrix might connected to some or many of these parts. Uh, Assessment criteria. So task one, we give you, you need to do like I said 15 test case description here. Uh, And we'll see the completeness and the correctness of those test case descriptions and how you describe the steps, test step for each test case. And also if you use some technique to define the input value for those test case. Test case ability show you two criteria: the traceability and coverage between tests and requirements. So this should be quite straightforward. You need to make sure that your test case have 100% coverage for requirement listed in task 1. And number 2, the traceability and coverage between tests to the code files. So you don't need to have like 100% coverage. That means you don't need to find all the code files associated to a requirement or to a test case. No, you don't have to do that. You only want to see if you understand and you can like illustrate for your understanding. And if you can use a tool, for example, reverse engineering tools that can help you to do this, or you can do it manually. So the template, the test plan template, this one for both task 1 and task 2 are attached in this description here. Right. All right. Then good luck with the work.